Mm. Yes, guys, it's your boy Hokage Puya, and we got some UCL league phase review. I just want to keep calling it the group stage, honestly, because I grew up with the group stage. It's gonna be weird. Wait for it. It's gonna be weird in 20 years when kids are gonna be like, "What was the group stage?" And I'm gonna be a freaking unk status, and I'm gonna tell them, "Oh, the group stage was when things were normal. The league phase was new. It was introduced in 2024." I'm not trying to knock the league phase. I just don't like the name. Why can't we just call it the group stage? The league phase, I actually like the format. I think it has provided us with a new format, new games, and new complexity to the group stages that the group stages was not giving us anymore. The group stages were becoming too simple for a lot of teams. Now we're seeing a lot of excitement, and we're in a scenario now where in the fifth game out of 8 of these league phase games, we're in a situation where a bunch of big teams need to win to make the playoffs and maybe potentially get into the top 8. But to make the playoffs, a lot of big teams need wins, need to get back on track in the Champions League. And I think that's something you wouldn't have seen in the group stage, and we didn't see in the group stage for a while. You have guys like Atleti, who we're not going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the big games, by the way. Bayern hosting PSG and Liverpool hosting Real Madrid. But you have teams like Atleti that are also struggling, just like a PSG, like a Bayern, having rough starts. Manchester City having a bunch of easy games so far, but they can be playing better. You have Dortmund, who is one of the best teams on form. Yes, they got smashed by Real Madrid 5-2, but Dortmund is looking like they're going to easily get that top 8 spot over guys like Arsenal, Juventus, and that. So very interesting games. Without further ado, let's just start talking about the games. We're going to talk about the first one. FC Bayern München hosting in the Allianz Arena the struggling, much more struggling Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, so Bayern has 2 wins. I think PSG has just 1 win, if I'm not mistaken, in this league phase so far. Obviously, last time out in the games, I think there was 3 weeks ago. Last time out, I can't remember, but PSG lost at home last minute to Atleti. In the last Champions League game, which was a huge blow for them because that needed to be a game that they won. Yeah, so they have 4 points so far, PSG. PSG is sitting on 25th place in the league table right now after 4 games. They did get a tough draw. I think PSG has the second toughest draw out of the bigger teams. I think Leipzig, out of all the teams, got the toughest run of games out of everyone, out of those bigger teams who we expected to do pretty decently in this league phase. But PSG right now on 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. That loss to Atleti was a big blow to them because if they did get it, they would have been on 7 points. They would have been up and around 10th to 15th place, and things wouldn't be looking as badly. But you're looking at a PSG scenario right now where they are only on 4 points, and they are going to Bayern at the Allianz Arena. They are away to Bayern, and Bayern at the Allianz Arena is a very, very strong team. Not a lot of teams go there and win. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League, the last time Bayern lost at home in the Champions League was in 2019 against that Liverpool team that ended up winning the entire Champions League tournament that year. So PSG on 4 points, and then you have Bayern, who started off well, remember, with that 9-2 against Dinamo Zagreb, lost to Aston Villa, lost to Barca, but they made their way back, getting that. On the scoreline, it was tight, a 1-0 win against Benfica, but last time out against Benfica at home, they completely dominated the Portuguese side. And as a Bayern fan, yeah, we dominated them in all assets of the game. Benfica did not have a single chance. And that's what PSG that's what PSG is going to be walking into in the Allianz Arena now. Both teams, Bayern and PSG, these are 2 teams that want the ball, that are going to press high, and whoever is not going to have the ball during this game is probably going to have to work very, very hard. Now, I have watched like 5 or 6 PSG games this season. I've watched 3 of their Champions League games. I try to catch a Ligue game if I had the time. PSG is a good team. I just think things haven't clicked for them in the Champions League so far. That's the annoying thing for PSG. Things are clicking in the league. They look fantastic post Kylian Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar in the league. They are clearly the best team in France again by a long shot. But in the Champions League this season, the results just have not gone their way. And I think that Atleti game last time out was a perfect example of that. It was a back and forth game with Atleti, but in the end, they didn't put away their chances. And Atletico, in like the 93rd minute, got the 2-1 late winner. That's just like perfectly summed up PSG's Champions League campaign so far. For Bayern, it was a strong start, a hiccup during company's first test against more experienced managers in Unai Emery and Hansi Flick. He lost both those, but he went and came back, coached the Bayern team to a very convincing, probably one of the most convincing 1-0 wins you'll ever see in that Benfica game last time out. So I think the big thing here for the Bayern side, the Bayern point of view, is it's finally company's turn to be tested again against a much more experienced manager in Luis Enrique, a treble winner, former Spain manager, and this is his second or third year at I think this is his second year at PSG, right? Second half. I think he came midseason. I don't remember, but it's a much more experienced manager again, and company's going to have the chance to prove to Bayern fans, prove to me, people like me, that he can get a result against a more experienced manager like a Luis Enrique, who literally coached MSN. That he is a little bit of an underrated manager. I know PSG fans have been fed up with him this season at times, but he is a good manager, and this would be a great test for company to try his style of coaching out against Luis Enrique's tactics. So from the Bayern point of view, company versus another experienced manager. Let's see what happens. And when you're looking at the Bayern team, Musiala's there, Olise's there, Kane's there, just got a hat-trick against Stuttgart. I think it's going to be a lot for the PSG defense to handle. I personally love PSG's defense. I think Hakimi's great, Nuno Mendes is great, and then they have a pick of 3 to 4 great center backs: Beraldo, Pacho, Skriniar. Marquinhos is probably the worst one out of all four, in my opinion. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see who will start at center back tomorrow against Bayern, but they're going to have a lot to deal with. It's going to be a big test for them because this will definitely be the best attack they've played all season. They haven't really played anyone else with such an attack with Olise, Musiala, Kane, and then, either it might be Coman, Gnabry, Sané. It's going to be a lot to do with our PSG. I think the interesting thing for PSG, let's go back to the PSG side of things, is that midfield. I think Luis Enrique would be a fool to not play three-man midfield. Sometimes he goes for 4-3-3. Sometimes he goes for 4-2-3-1. Obviously, things change in the actual game. Positions change in how they actually set up. But on paper, Luis Enrique would be a fool to not go for three in the midfield of Vitinha, João Neves, and Warren Zaire-Emery, because this is a Bayern team, and this is something a lot of Bayern fans like me are worried about, is the fact that João Palhinha and Alexander Pavlovic are not fit for this game, and it's going to have to be Goretzka, who has barely played any minutes this season, coming back in the midfield with Joshua Kimmich against a very, very, very young PSG midfield. Vitinha's 24, Zaire-Emery's like 18, 19, João Neves is 20. That's an energetic young midfield, and you're coming against Joshua Kimmich, who's been having a good season. But Joshua Kimmich, who's had multiple midfield partners this year and hasn't been able to establish that long-term connection with someone in that Bayern double pivot. Goretzka just got his first start in a very long time, getting a full 90 minutes. I think it was he did play 90 minutes. What am I talking about? Getting a full game against Augsburg this previous Friday, getting an assist to Harry Kane. But playing against Augsburg is way different than playing against two of the most talented up-and-coming midfielders in João Neves and Warren Zaire-Emery, and one of the best midfielders in the world in Vitinha. It's going to be a much bigger challenge. So for the midfield battle in this game, I think PSG are going to have to try and dominate. They're going to have to try and take control of that midfield. They have the quality to do so. They will have more numbers to do so if they go with that three in the midfield. And they could really do some damage on that Bayern backline, on Kim and Upamecano, if they're able to bypass Goretzka and Kimmich. So PSG, man, that midfield is going to be the key, because I think on paper, on form, Bayern's attack is the better attack. When you compare Bayern and PSG, you have Harry Kane, you have Musiala, who is playing, Kane gets all the goals. But if you're a PSG fan, I'm telling you right now, Jamal Musiala has been our best player all season. He makes the team tick. He has improving every game. He has taken multiple steps up in his game this season. Companies turned him into a more productive player within the 18. You have Musiala, you have Olise, who's been a fantastic signing for Bayern. Harry Kane putting in the goals. And then I think Coman will start tomorrow, or Sané, but Coman, Sané, Gnabry, whoever, against PSG and Bradley Barcola, who has, had a great season so far, shutting up a lot of doubters from last season. Ousmane Dembele, and then, they either have Kang and Lee up there in that front four with Kolo Muani, or Asensio has been playing a lot of games up there. So Definitely Bayern's attack is better, but if PSG can get control of that midfield, they can definitely do some damage here and get a must-needed win because PSG need to win this game. They need to because the issue with PSG scenario is if they lose this game, they still have a game with Manchester City. They still have a game with Manchester City and two other difficult games, but against lower opposition that they should win. They should win, but we're gonna have to wait and see. You never know. Things happen. This is the Champions League, guys. Things happen. Shit happens. So, if I'm going into this game, taking everything into account, I would say, putting my bias aside, I think Bayern win this game. I think it's going to be tough, though. I think this could be not a high scoring game, but I could see a 2-1 Bayern or a 2-2. I could see a draw. I really don't think it's likely Bayern lose. Bayern, since that Barcelona game, by the way, six clean sheets in a row. I don't know when is the last time you guys, I've missed. I've been watching Bayern since 2008, 2009, 2007, 8, 9. I don't remember the last time we got 6 clean sheets in a row. So this Bayern defense is no joke either. So it's going to be a big test for PSG's attack. I think Bayern in the end will win 2 or 3-1 at home against this PSG side who is going to be desperate for a win. So interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, I'll have my post match out when I get back from work tomorrow on this game. So tune in for that. And the other big game, guys. Revenge season 8, 9. I don't know how many revenge seasons that Mo Salah and Liverpool revenge seasons Liverpool fans have been talking about over the years. But it's time for revenge chapter 100. Liverpool at home at Anfield against in my opinion, struggling Real Madrid team who have not found their identity, who have not found their feet fully this season under Carlo Ancelotti, especially given the fact that Kylian Mbappe has been severely underperforming. Jude Bellingham, in my opinion, has been severely underperforming, and Vinny Jr. in his head too much this season, in my opinion. So this is going to be a big game. Liverpool, probably along with Barca, been the best season. I mean, the best teams in all of Europe this season, dominating the Premier League, perfect in the Champions League. And I am looking at Liverpool fans and this revenge narrative they have. If you don't beat Real Madrid now, when are you going to ever beat them? I think this is clearly going to be a Liverpool win here in Anfield because another thing you have to take into account, their best players out for 3 weeks. Vinicius Jr. will not be here for this game. So Liverpool have everyone fit. Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, and obviously Mo Salah again playing at the highest level he can, like he has been the last 5, 6, 7 years now. I think this is going to be a Liverpool dominant professional victory. Real Madrid will have their moments, but seeing how weak that Real Madrid defense has been and seeing the form Salah's been in and Luis Diaz, everyone, I think Liverpool, if you don't win now, I don't know when Liverpool will ever beat Real Madrid ever again. It's just like one of those games where one team has been so far superior to the other team all season long so far, and we're almost into. You guys, we're not 1 month in the season anymore. We're almost into December. We're 1 week away from December, and Liverpool has been clearly the superior team to Real Madrid all season long, every single weekend, every single Champions League match day. And I think this is going to be no different. I think Liverpool is just going to be too strong. Without Vinny Jr., we're going to see what Kylian Mbappe will do. He's going to have the left side all to himself. So Kylian Mbappe, this might be a breakout game for Kylian Mbappe, and he could show Carlo Ancelotti and the Real Madrid brass and the fans that, listen, I know I've been underperforming. I'm trying to adapt to that number 9 position, but this is me on the left wing, and I'm going to show you my absolute best. If Real Madrid are going to win this game, it's going to be through Kylian Mbappe. If Kylian Mbappe does not produce his absolute best when playing back at that left wing position again, Real Madrid, no chance. Real Madrid, no chance. And I think Liverpool and Slot will get it done professionally, and they'll be 5 out of 5 in the league phase, clearly locked in for that top 8, straight qualification to the round of 16. And yeah, that's all the analysis I have for this game. I don't think. Yes, I know Real Madrid had a nice performance this past weekend, but that's against subpar opposition. That's not enough opposition where I'm like, whoa, these guys can do something against Liverpool. the team who's probably been, even compared to Barcelona, they've probably been the best, most consistent team all season. But in terms of attacking style of play and points won and the way they play, the way they dominate teams, I think Liverpool and Barcelona are equal. But in terms of being the most flushed out team so far and most complete team so far this season, it's been Liverpool. And I think this is one of those scenarios. You don't get to say this often about Real Madrid, but I think this is just one of those games where, and one of these scenarios in a big game where I think Real Madrid probably won't show up, and Liverpool. If I'm going to give my prediction before we head on this video, I have to say I could see Liverpool getting a clean sheet. I could really see Liverpool getting a clean sheet. Konate and Van Dijk have been excellent. Trent has upped his game this season under Arne Slot. Honestly, I'm going for a Liverpool. You know what? I'll give Real Madrid a goal. I think Kylian Mbappe will produce a moment of magic. If not him, I think Bellingham will. Because he did get a goal finally after how many? I don't know how long it's been since Bellingham scored. It's been a couple weeks or months, but he scored on the weekend. Either Kylian Mbappe or Bellingham will score a goal for Real Madrid. But I'm gonna go overall Liverpool to get a 3-1 win, and Salah and Liverpool finally get their revenge for the 2018 UCL final. And you know what? I'll add something extra to that. I think Mohamed Salah will score a goal not tomorrow, on Wednesday against Real Madrid. So that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. Bayern, I'm going for a 2-1 victory at home to PSG, and I'm going for a 3-1 win for Liverpool hosting Real Madrid. And yeah, let's see if I'm correct. I think the other two big games on my radar this week is Inter versus Leipzig. Although Leipzig probably look like they're done for, they're not even going to make the playoffs because of how tough their fixture schedule has gone, and because they just haven't been putting away their chances. Inter Leipzig is an interesting one, but I think Inter at home will get that done. The other interesting one is going to be Sporting, not under Amorim anymore, hosting Arsenal. So those are two other interesting games that I have on my radar as well. But these are the two big ones. Those are my predictions. You guys, it's been your boy Hokage Puya. I'll see you guys for those post matches and that UCL roundup Wednesday or Thursday night. Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Peace.